Daily Manna from the Torah by Dr. Ketriel Blad. Shalom everyone, we've come to the sixth Aliyah of Parashat Lechá, Go for You. Today's Aliyah is found in Genesis 15 verse 7 to chapter 17 verse 6. We find today's reading in Genesis 16 verses 10 and 11. The angel of the Lord also said to her, I will surely multiply your offspring so that they cannot be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, Behold, you are pregnant and shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has listened to your affliction. Is Ishmael a blessing or a curse? In this passage, we have an expression that has been translated, Behold, you are pregnant. In Hebrew, Hinach hara. Exactly the same expression is found in Judges 13 verse 5, where the birth of Samson is narrated. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. This is the reason why Rashi deduces that it is not that Hagar has already conceived, but that she would conceive. But doesn't the Torah say that she had conceived before? This is in verse 4. Yes, Hagar had conceived before. This leads to interpret the text as if Hagar had had an abortion. Now the angel told her to go back to Sarah and submit to her. In this way, she would conceive again. It's obvious that the Eternal wanted Hagar to conceive a child with Abraham Avinu, our father. The Eternal wanted to multiply her offspring so that they couldn't be numbered. That offspring is nowadays the Arab people. Other texts also show us that the birth and blessing of Ishmael, is part of the Eternal's plan. Ishmael's birth was not a curse, but a blessing. Abraham loved his son, Ishmael, and pleaded for him before the Eternal. The Eternal answered and promised to bless him, as it is written in Genesis 17, verse 18 and verse 20. And Abraham said to God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before you. As for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and multiply him greatly. He shall father 12 princes, and I will make him into a great nation. The Torah is very clear to reveal to us the willingness and plan for the Eternal to bless and multiply Ishmael. It's true that the covenant was not with Ishmael, but with Yitzhak, and that through Yitzhak would come the descendants of the promise. But this doesn't rule out the fact that Ishmael has an important role in the world, especially in the last days. It's also true that the Arab people had greatly hurt their younger brother, the Jewish people, and that they still do it every day. But we have to understand that behind the attacks from the Arabs is the hand of the Eternal. Because of the sins of the Jewish people, the Eternal uses the Arabs to hurt us. His purpose is that we turn from our sin and seek His face with all our heart and all our might, and that we keep His commandments, so that there is peace in the land of Israel and the world. The Arabs are carrying out a divine task. Now, the Eternal is using them to discipline His chosen people, but the future will be very different. The Arab people will leave their false god and will turn to the true one, the Elohim of Israel, the Elohim of the Jews, the Eternal, Creator of heaven and earth, who made a covenant with Yitzhak. Through acknowledging the blessing that comes through Yitzhak and the Jewish people and the blessed seed of David, Messiah Yeshua, the Arabs will be uplifted tremendously, and millions of them will partake in the life of the world to come, as it's written in Isaiah 19, verses 22 through 25. And the Lord will strike Egypt, striking and healing, and they will return to the Lord, and He will listen to their pleas for mercy and heal them. In that day there will be a highway from Egypt to Assyria, and Assyria will come into Egypt, and Egypt into Assyria, and the Egyptians will worship with the Assyrians. In that day Israel will be the third with Egypt and Assyria, a blessing in the midst of the earth, whom the Lord of hosts has blessed, saying, Blessed be Egypt my people, and Assyria the work of my hands, and Israel my inheritance. Hagar was Egyptian and is called the Egyptian, chapter 21, verse 9. This is why Ishmael is a bond between Egypt and our father. The offspring of Ishmael mixed with many other peoples, and nowadays we can say that the Arab people, with Egypt in the gap, are the offspring of Ishmael. When Islam is broken, Ishmael will humble himself and will seek the Eternal. He will answer and call them, Egypt my people. What a glorious day that will be. So, the Eternal wanted to have a large people, Ishmael's offspring, and that's why the angel sent Hagar back to Abraham and Sarah, so that she could conceive again and have a child. Not the child of a promise, but a son that would be of great blessing. Let's not see the Arabs in their present situation, under the curse of the Islam. Let's focus our sight toward the future when the Eternal intervenes in the Arab world in a powerful way. Then we will see more clearly that the birth of Ishmael wasn't a mistake, but part of a divine plan, important to the world nowadays and in the future. Don't stop praying for the salvation of the Arab people. Their salvation will come from the Jews. John 4:22. May you see peace upon Israel and blessing upon the whole world. Shalom.